last week we did a couple of case studies of how to use LODs in normal workbook scenarios. Today we'll explore 3 of similar kind of case studies. So last time we saw one of this one, like how to get a detailed analysis of what particular dimension process a certain threshold, not at the overall level but also at the detail level. And then also after that we did some market basket analysis kind of case. Now today what we'll be doing is few other cases using LODs. Again, one thing to keep in mind here is these particular scenarios are solved with the intention to be solved using LODs. There could be other ways in Tableau which are easier or which are a little more which makes these sort of cases more UI friendly. But in this particular case, we'll only explore the way how to do it using LODs. Okay, and here we have, let me explain the scenario what we have. First, let's go to the data. So in this data, what I have here is, so basically assume that you are a particular company and you are selling some products. And there are some other competitor as well who are selling similar sorts of products in the same areas where you're selling, and you wanted to basically see how your products are comparing in the market with respect to your competitors. And here we have this is the data that we're working on, and here we have competitor, and basically these are different companies, and if I can scroll down a little bit. When you see our company, this represents our company. That means like it's our company, and rest of them are each individual competitors. And this is for the next 4 columns we have geographic data, and then we have product data, then we have growth rate. So in each of this particular product category, for each of this competitor, what was the growth rate compared to this year with respect to this year compared to last year. And then we have same current year sales, prior year sales, and YOY growth rate. It's basically growth rate and this and same. So this is the data that we're working on, and we are making a visualization something like this. Here on the top half we have a scatter plot, basically giving us sales. So each mark that you see here is a particular company, and we have just created a single set to represent or distinguish our company with respect to all other companies, and it's a scatter plot between sales in absolute numbers and the growth. Okay, now this comprises across all the product categories that are involved. Now the task here is, and in the bottom half, as you can see here, we are comparing how my current my company sales are with respect to everything else. So basically it's growth rate comparison. Let's assume my company has seen a YOY growth rate of 7%. Okay, in overall across all products. Now I want to see how my growth rate across products is differed from growth rate of all other products, all other company products. So this is the difference in clothes and cloth shoes jewelry category. So basically this is the difference compared to all other products from all other companies. I am my growth rate in this particular category is 4.9% higher. And here in this particular category, electronics and computers, my growth rate is 1.1% lower when compared to all other companies that are selling this particular product. Now the task here.
So average growth, Jagadish?
Yes, Chaitanya.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the task here is we need to basically, let's say it's just click like this when you at this point in time when there is no selection of competitor, we are selecting comparing for all the competitors. But if we want to specifically see for one particular competitor, then we'll select that, and this will enable us comparison of our company with this particular selected company. Now this is not only for relative to that particular company. If I select our company, it will definitely be 0 because we are just subtracting one from the same. So this is the final workbook that which we want, that kind of analysis. And let me explain how we can do this. Okay, let me go here first. The task here is simple. First, you all know how to do a scatter plot. It's a very straightforward one. Okay, let me explain all the elements here. Okay, first I have my YOY growth, which is basically a calculation that I made to get, okay, I have this column and this column giving me last year and current year sales, and I just use those to get the YOY growth. And then I used sales number and YOY growth to get my scatter plot at the company level. So I put my competitor in detail, so it will be my detail level. Now the task, just a minute. Sorry for that. Okay. Now, yeah, as I was saying, the one thing, yeah, this is the simple scatter plot that we have, and the next page where we see here, this particular second page, there is where we write all the calculations at which we see. So if you see here, I have in my level of detail is particular product in a particular competitor company. So and first column that I have is year-over-year growth, which is coming directly from the data, not a calculation, just directly coming from the data. And then I write a calculation to extract. Basically here I'm trying to compare my I'm trying to compare my company's growth with all other companies. Therefore I need to extract what only my company's growth rate. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll basically write a fixed LOD to extract only the growth rate for our company. So the conditional fixed statement. So if my competitor is representing my company, our company, then just give me product level YOY growth. So this will give me product level YOY growth, and therefore, as you can see in the second column, you only see for our company from the conditional statement which we have. Okay, and then we have our second calculation.
So one quick question, Jagdish. So yes. in the LOD that you wrote,
yeah,
the calculated field.
Yes.
So why did you have to include competitor also in that?
It's not required. Actually, it's not required at this point in time.
Okay.
Because
okay, cool.
Anyway, wait a second. Let me just check that. Yeah, it didn't make much difference.
Okay.
No, it did. Wait. Okay, let me open a new sheet and put my.
So I think it's okay, Jagdish. We can continue right now, and you can check it out and just let us know maybe in the next session.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just I don't want to derail you. That's why.
It's a yeah, got it.
Okay. Carry on, please.
So in the next calculation, what we do is basically will exclude the I think it's because of the duplication, I'm not sure. Okay, in the next calculation we basically use the first calculation that we made, and we already know in the first calculation we are only getting the data for one particular company, and then now here we are taking basically for each of the product category. Now basically it's like excluding the company from the earlier calculation, both these things together. And what we need this for, because the earlier calculation, it'll since the company is included, it will only do for the condition statement is included, that number will only be present for the rows where competitor column is our company. But we want these values, the growth values, to compare with all other companies as well. Therefore this calculation here, well, excluding the company, and basically we are getting at a generalized level for each product category across all the companies. So it will basically get the App Store value 5.6 for all the companies, for all the competitors. In third column, as you can see, App Store wherever you see it's a 5.6, App Store wherever you see it's 5.6. Now this is used for comparison purposes. So now it's just a matter of just subtracting my first column with my third column to get my fourth column, to get the difference. Now this is my overall view. And another tip here, basically one tip here is, normally this which is not seen, whenever we include normally there will be cases where we want to put a certain tooltip visualization in a mark or etc, something like that. In that case it is recommended that you basically pull out all the possible combinations of the data as a view in a particular sheet. For example, here as you can see, let's say we want to use this particular sheet as a tooltip on this company. Okay, whenever we pull on Inkling group, we want to see the bar graph for that particular Inkling group. Okay, now it is required that you do for all the competitors like that, not just one particular selected use filters or something like that. You basically populate the sheet with all the competitors, all the values that you have in the marks, and develop the chart in the single sheet, and use that particular sheet to create your tooltip. That will improve your performance, because every time because hovering as a tooltip means it's just a matter of fact that you change a mouse over and it will have to recalculate everything. But when you have everything inside one sheet, it will not do recalculation, it will just hide and show whatever the fields that you want. And okay, and we have this field here, and after that it's just a matter of fact of creating a particular action, so dashboard action. So what we do here is we'll go to dashboard action. So we want the action to be compared from this one to this one, so we'll create this action basically from my scatter plot to both of my charts on selection. Okay, now the trick here the trick here is that we need to catch here is, if you see the action that I just created, it'll come as a dimension action, so it's a blue color. Okay, now whenever we include dimension filters and fixed LODs, we need to keep in mind of the order of operations in Tableau. What we did here in our calculations include the fixed calculations for our comparison purposes. So, and my action filter is filtering on my competitor. So now what happens is, if I haven't used my fixed calculations and got my numbers with some other way, okay, the comparison value, when I click on this, what will happen is that particular data will be filtered. So when I click on Inkling, all the other company data will be filtered. So our company data which is there, this will also be filtered. if this data is filtered out, I'll have nothing to compare it with to get these differences. Only this particular data will be shown into the. Therefore, I used my fixed calculations even before this filtering happens to get these values and save them for comparison purposes. So it's just again the logic. First we are performing the calculations using fixed, and then my action is getting done as a dimension filter. Therefore, this particular sort of analysis is made enabled. When I select, here we have for every product, our company is lagging in terms of growth rate. So if this is clear, we'll move on to the next one. Okay.
So there is like one question here.
Yes.
Like in the sheet whichever you have shown, we are able to see the company name. So is that the same sheet you are showing below, or is it there like a different sheet?
It's the same sheet. It's if you click on go to sheet. I'm sorry. This is the different sheet. Yeah, the different sheet. Here I created only at the product level category. Okay. And okay. Here, this is something called retention analysis. Retention means basically there is a term called churn and retention. When related to customer analytics, retention means a particular customer is being continued or staying on with your purchasing your products for a time. Okay. Churn means at a particular point in time, that particular customer has stopped purchasing any further products for a particular duration of time, and that causes the customer to churn. So he left your company or your service, something like that. Now here we are trying to get the analysis of that sort of who are the customers for the selected time period. Okay, who are the customers who had made a purchase continuously in this selected time period. So if we see here on the left side, we have something called all quarters, and on the right side we have something called some quarters. So I have selected 2014 all the quarters, and on the left side it's showing these are the customers who have purchased in every single quarter of this selection, and these are the customers who have purchased only at least not all of them, but at least one quarter. This sort of analysis. So this is the use case, and let's see how to do this. Okay. The bottom graph is just a revenue level analysis, like how much revenue is coming in the selected quarters from the people who are purchasing continuously, the orange line, and the people who are purchasing only once, not continuously, the blue line. So let's go to the sheet and okay. So the logic here is, I know I have a filter here, my order date quarter. Now I need to see how many, based on my user input, how many of my quarters have been selected. In order to get that, I write a simple calculation. And the logic here is, once I get that number, how many of my quarters have been selected, I compare it with, hey, for each of the customers, see how many different quarters he has been purchased with, and if that number matches, then that particular customer belongs to the one who is continuously purchasing, the orange one. If that number does not match with the number of quarters that have been selected, then it becomes, hey, he is not purchased in all the single quarters, so he belongs to the only some quarters category. So that's the overall logic. So I need to get the two numbers here. One is how many quarters that have been selected. So in order to get that, I write a calculation here. It's a simple one. This expression is a fixed expression at the overall level, dataset level. At the dataset level, give me count distinct of or how many quarters are there. Okay. Now again, the logic here, we need to understand how the interaction will work. The user will select the quarters, and then my count distinct should appear. If my quarters are in the place of filter. Okay. If I put this as a context filter, if I put this as a single dimension filter, what will happen is my fixed expression will get calculated first, and then my this filter will work. So for this particular calculation, the one that I wrote here, the count string of quarter ID will always be full, irrespective of whatever the user has selected here. That's why here you can see everything has gone out. The orange ones are not visible. Therefore, the logic here is you should always count this after this filter has been executed. Therefore, you should pull this filter one level top into the Tableau order of operations, which will help execution of this filter before the fixed expression. Therefore, you need to change this to context filter. So when you change it to context, based on this context of your filter, your calculation will work, the fixed expression, and it will give you the number. So currently I have selected 4 quarters, so this number will hold 4. Now I need to compare this 4 with all the at the customer level. So I'll write this calculation at a customer level. So I'll fix my calculation at a customer, and I'll calculate count string of order ID, how many order date quarters are there. Okay, now I'll get these two numbers. All I'll do is I'll write these two calculations, sales all quarters and sales some quarters. Sales all quarters means when these two numbers match. Okay, this is so this is another calculation where I'm comparing the first two calculations that I wrote. This is the number of quarters and the number of quarters that a particular customer has purchased in. So if these two numbers matches, then this particular when it is true, he belongs to orange group. When it is not true, he belongs to blue group. So that's what I did here using these two other calculations. So if this particular field is true, then put him under just give those particular customer sales, and I will use that sales to get my orange group. And the another calculated field, if this particular thing is false, then give me sales, and I will use that to create my blue bar graphs. It's a simple one. So the main catch here is, to earlier in the example that we saw, we wanted the filter to be a dimension filter, but here we wanted the filter to be a context filter based on our use case and the requirement. Yeah, hope everything is clear on this particular use case. Okay. This is the last one that I had for.
So one quick question.
Yes, it's
Jagdish, yeah, if we just go back, see the filter that you have on the right hand side, the quarter related filter.
Yes.
So basically that will only help in summing up the sales, is it? Or is this the all quarters? The orange one that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Does it check only for the checked quarters, the right hand side checked quarters, or does it check for all of the quarters?
No, it will only check for the selected quarters.
Okay, got it.
What this context filter is basically,
okay,
yeah, the rest of the quarters are getting just filtered even before this analysis gets started.
Got it. But it still shows those quarters here, right, on the right hand side?
Yeah, just as a filter for if you want to select some other quarters, then we can do that.
Got it. So the nature of that filter is a context filter, but it can be put on the right hand side, is it? That's how it works. So you placed it here, right? This one.
Yes.
So even though it's here, it is still contextual filter only because it's there, and you just made that appear on the right hand side. Is that
yes. It's just a matter of show filter. Then we'll
show filter. Got it. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So that brings us to the last use case for today, and here we have. Let me explain this use case here. Okay. Here we have a simple state level analysis, okay, and my colored map use with my profit metric, okay, and I have a filter here to select any particular state, okay. Now the idea here is to enable a drill down analysis. So at this point in time, I'm getting the state level overview. Now if you want to drill down into a particular, let's say, okay, my profits in California are high when compared to rest of them, so let's go to California. How to check that? So when I click on California and keep only, we know what this keep only and exclude does. They basically create a filter for you. Or if you click on keep only, it will only keep the California state and eliminate all of them. If you click exclude, it will basically remove this and keep rest of all of them. So when I click keep only, my map will drill down to city level information in California instead of only showing that. So normally this is not how your map functions. What happens is I'm sure you are aware of it, but let me just quickly demo the same. Okay. We connect to our favorite dataset. Likewise. So when I click here and exclude or keep only, this is what will happen. It will still remain at the state level visualization. It will not drill down to what are the cities or etc. under that. But we enable something like this here. Okay, what we enabled here was basically when we do that, we'll get the drill down level of information. Let's see how to do that. And okay, the first idea is okay, it's clearly a dual axis chart. Again, there are a lot of other ways that we can do here. We can use simple calculated fields to achieve the same. You can use set actions to achieve the same, but here we only explore using LOD expression. Here we generated a basically dual axis chart which overlay on the top of each other. At the top we have a state level map, and at the bottom we have city level map. At this point in time we are only seeing the state level map, so basically it's based on our selection from here. We are hiding this one or this one. So if you can see here, let me explain. So I'm removing some of the states and see what happens at a certain point. Yeah, now my state map has been shifted from state level to my city level. So this threshold I have set up here. I have given, hey, if my count of states in the data set is less than 45, give me not the state level map but the city level map. And I can change this. I can basically change this to 49, whatever the number that I want. And when I change this to 49, it'll again remain at a state level. But when I again come back everything, now as soon as I hit this, it'll go to state level. I'm just explaining the functionality here, and we'll go deeper how to get those things done. First thing I need to do is I need to create this sort of shift to happen, okay, based on my filter selection. So it's based on the similar logic that we used in the earlier case. I need to get what is the count of all the states that have been selected. Okay, so in order to get that, I'll I write these two calculations, when to show state and when to show city. So if my fixed overall at the overall data set level, if my count distinct of state is greater than my drill down state, then show me state level map, my state field, else nothing, show nothing. And this will show. So thereby whenever my states are more than meeting the threshold, it will show the state level map. And again I write another calculated field for the city level. So when my count string of state is less than my drill down, hey, I don't need state, then I need city level map information, therefore show me city. Now use these two calculated fields. And now using this particular idea here, I got my two of my maps, and in each of these maps I can use these two fields to generate the information that I want. For example, in the top map, I do how do I go to top map? Here I have these marks here, which can basically help me select different maps that I have in the view. So here, if you can see, the latitude generated, which is basically the first row, is coming from this information. This view is built up with the information that I have put in here. And if you see here, I have my country and country level information, and my only this particular state level information. Okay, so this basically holds only state level information. Now my city level information will come under the bottom row. So therefore I'll go to my bottom row and I'll put my show or hide city level information here.